my name is Jeanette Nunez, and today I'll be telling you two stories in mythology. These are the story of Otus and Ephialtes and the story of Daedalus. Otus and Ephialtes by Apollodorus. Apollodorus is one of the Greek writers in 1st or 2nd century ADA. Actually, this story is alluded or also mentioned in the story of some Greek writers like Homer in the Odyssey and Virgil in Aeneid, but only Apollodorus tells it in full. Otus and Ephialtes are giants' twin brothers. Unlike the other giants of old, they were straight in form and noble in face. Although the twin giants were generally called as Allidae, the sons of Aleus, Ephialtes' husband or mother, they were certainly the sons of Poseidon. At a young age, they are eager to prove that they were God's superiors. In a result, they imprisoned Ares, the god of war. They bound him with chains of brass and shut him up. The Olympians were hesitant to free him by force, so they sent Hermes to rescue him cautiously by night time.
The giants' arrogance doesn't end in Ares' imprisonment. They even piled Mount Ossa and Pelion to overlook the heights of heaven. With this, Zeus was about to strike them with his power of thunderbolt, but Poseidon begged for his mercy and promised to keep his sons in order. The twins stopped the war against heaven, pleasing Poseidon, for they created another plan that interests them more. Carrying Hera off for Otus and kidnapping Artemis for Ephialtes, because both giants were in love with the goddesses as they thought, although the truth was they only cared for each other. They drew lots to decide which should first seize his lady, and fortune favored Ephialtes.
They sought Artemis everywhere over the hills and in the woods, but only to find her on the seashore. Artemis already knew about the giant's evil purpose, so when they sprang after her, she kept straight over the sea. Since the two giants are the sons of Poseidon, they've got no trouble following Artemis. She led them in the wooded island of Naxos, but suddenly disappeared. The two giants instead saw a most lovely milk-white hind springing into the forest that made them forget about the goddess. They decided to pursue the beautiful creature, but lost her in the thick woods, and so they decided to separate ways in order to find her. At the same time, and at the same moment, each suddenly saw her standing, but neither saw that at the back of the trees just beyond her was his brother. They both threw their javelins at the hind, which suddenly vanished. The weapons sped on across an empty glade into the woods, each slaying and being slain by the only creature he loved. Such was the vengeance of Artemis. Next is the story of Daedalus by Apollodorus. Daedalus was the architect who made the labyrinth, a maze in Crete for the Minotaur. Minotaur was a mythical creature portrayed in classical times with head and tail of a bull and body of a man. It was the offspring of Pasiphae and a snow-white bull. Pasiphae is the wife of Minos, king of Crete, son of Zeus and Europa, and the snow-white bull was sent to Minos by the god Poseidon for sacrifice. However, Minos, instead of sacrificing it, kept it alive. Poseidon, as a punishment, made Pasiphae fall in love with it and produce a child, the Minotaur. King Minos had a daughter named Ariadne, who fell in love with Theseus, the mythical king and founder hero of Athens. Ariadne's love for Theseus made her help him escape from the labyrinth by Daedalus showing her how. King Minos learned and realized that Athenians could not escape from it if only Daedalus did not help them, and so he imprisoned Daedalus together with his son Icarus in the labyrinth. The place was created complicatedly
for even the maker could not find the exit. The great inventor knows that he could escape through land and water, but the air and sky are free. In result, he created 2 pairs of wings for him and his son Icarus. Before they fly, he told Icarus to keep away from the sun, because it could make the glue melt and destroy the wings. And so they must be in a middle course over the sea. The 2 successfully escaped in Crete. But Icarus was delighted with a wonderful power to fly. He soared up high and forgot his father's command and reminder. Icarus' wings had come off. He dropped into the sea and drowned. Despite being in pain of Icarus' death, Daedalus continued and flew safely to Sicily, where he was received kindly by the king. King Minos was enraged by Daedalus' escape and made a cunning plan, sort of a trap to find him. He had proclaimed everywhere that whoever could pass a thread through a spiraled shell would be given a great reward. Daedalus volunteered himself to the Sicilian king that he could do it. He bored a small hole in the closed end of the shell, fastened a thread to an end, and introduced it into the hole. The end finally came out of the shell with a thread running clear through all the twists and turns in the shell. This gave King Minos a clue to seize Daedalus in Sicily, but the Sicilian king refused to surrender Daedalus. In the end, King Minos was slain in the contest to get Daedalus.
That's all, everyone. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the story and